Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya al-mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah, in the previous video I have given you a very long and detailed understanding of how we are going to transform our feeling, emotion and thinking loop using relative weight of importance and duration. And then how we can control, I should not use the word control, how we can actually shape, all right, the inner thoughts, automatic thoughts that we have, the negative ones and the negative inner speech, and how R.W.I.D can be used to actually overcome the negative vicious cycle that is causing us anxiety, depression and a lot of psychological problems that modern humanity face, because they are playing on these automatic thoughts that is bringing them towards self-destruction and failure, and how we can harness using positive R.W.I.D and how we can shape our F.E.T to become an achiever in life. So I'm going to give you certain steps and certain practical techniques. So how we can do that? So if we want to overcome our negative R.W.I.D, that means we have to change our F.E.T loop, our feeling, emotion, thinking loop, and our inner speech to become an achiever. So what are the steps that we can do? Alright, these are very basic steps, inshallah. If we can then expand on this idea, I'm just giving you the basic framework, inshallah, and later on when we write the book on being achievers in life, then we can give you more details and more examples. But within this few minutes, I can just give you some ideas of how we can do it, and then you be creative. Create your own format and your own methodology in which, inshallah, is going to help you to become an achiever in life. One, you redirect your F.E.T loop from negative R.W.I.D to positive. So you give more and more importance to positive thinking, positive way of life, positive behavior, positive everything. For example, if we are overweight, all right, and your inner speech says, oh, I'm overweight, you know, I'm tired, I'm sick, and then you take more and you eat more. So that is a negative loop. So then you become obese, and when you become obese, you become depressed, and you say, oh, you know, all the negative thoughts keep on clouding you until your whole F.E.T loop is negative. So we have to shift it to positive. So how we can do that? Oh, inshallah, I will try to do some simple thing so that I can cut down on, for example, on my sugar. So I cut down all my teh tarik or my sugary drinks or my sugary desserts. Slowly, you shape it. It's not that today, if I tell you this concept and you want to implement in one go, it's not possible, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us human beings to journey in this life. So this life is a journey. Transforming our negative feelings, emotion and thinking is a journey. So don't be stressed out. It is a journey. You take it each day, one step at a time. And inshallah, over time, it becomes a habit, a good habit. And that good habit then will lead you to become a successful person in overcoming your obesity or your weight problem or your health problem and so on. And then you go on a healthy diet and so on. There's so many ways of doing that. So redirect. Just I'm giving you the example of dieting. You can redirect in terms of your career. You can redirect in terms of your family life. You have a toxic family relationship with your family members. How are you going to overcome that? So it is not something that you can be done or change or undone in a few days. It may take a whole process to rebuild your relationship, for example, with your spouse, where you have lost a sense of love, the sense of caring, sharing and so on. So you redirect. So this is the first step. First idea, steps in redirection. First, write down 3 things, positive actions, and read out aloud 3 times a day. So you can write down, okay, if you have a toxic relationship with your spouse, what are the 3 positive actions that I can do? Inshallah, for example, I'll greet her this morning and give her a kiss or something like that. Inshallah, okay, I will try to be more kind to her. Inshallah, I will not shout at her if she doesn't give me my morning coffee or whatever it is, you know. So the 3 very simple things you have written down and you read it out loud. So these will then be programmed into your inner speech and your F.E.T loop. Alright, so you write down and read aloud 3 times a day, and then you can put it in a card, put it in your pocket, and then repeat that process. 3 things that you do today, maybe tomorrow the same 3 things, the next day maybe add 1 more, remove 1, and so on. So every day you have 3 little simple steps to do that will then change your position from negative thinking to positive thinking. The next step is also to have gratitude journal. Always be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be grateful to your family. Be grateful to your country. Be grateful to everything that you have in this dunya. Your food, your clothing, your shelter, your wealth, your everything is all dependent on the grace and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the first and foremost, always in our hearts, we always think of the gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, maybe we go through life, we go through up and down. The bumps could be very severe. For example, you may go through into a business where you may lose. You have all your wealth and living all your wealth and losing all your wealth in a very bad business deal, or in terms of economic turmoil and economic crisis and so on. So you may lose everything. But you can be negative to lament about that loss, or you can be positive, pick up the pieces and start all over again. And maybe Allah has a greater hikmah of not giving you that millions and millions of dollars, because Allah loves you. He wants you to become a humble servant, not an arrogant servant of Allah. And He wants you to be a person who is pious and always God-fearing and God remembering. And then you achieve success, not as a business person, but maybe as a teacher, maybe as a coach in positive Islamic psychology, maybe in so many things. That is become a barakah. It become a wonderful thing, because you will not know the wisdom and the grace and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I can feel that, because I've gone through life and I have seen many situations in which I perceive it as failure, but after 10 years, I realized that failure was a blessing in disguise. It was so important that Allah has shaped my life towards this direction of becoming a motivator, becoming a practitioner of positive psychology, taking up the task of writing the manuscript and the work of the late Professor Muhammad Mandi Jenkins as he passed on. So there are many things that you may be one. I may want to become a multi-millionaire or billionaire and doing business, but immersing myself in business and then failing to a certain extent brings you back to the center. And that is something that we should always remember. So gratitude is very important for small things that you have. Gratitude for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you life. Gratitude for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving you food, clothing, shelter, family, wealth, existence, whatever. There's so many things that you can ever be gratitude for. And even simple gratitude. For example, I like to walk in the evenings in the mountainside, and I see the crowd rolling over. Beautiful, which money cannot buy. You see the crowd rolling, you see the sun shining with the sunset, and you see the beautiful trees, the bird is singing. Such a wonderful, it's a wonder. It's such a joy. And you don't pay a single cent. So what do you do when you see all those things? As I'm jogging or as I'm walking, as I breathe in, I say, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. We express the joy and express the gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So try to imbue that little things, for little things that you get, which is of no cost, but it gives you the depth of the sense of your connection to your Creator, for you to become a true and sincere servant and His Khalifa on this earth. Alright, so that's a simple example. The third one is always remember the 3 principles of being the Khalifa of Allah. So you read this book, the chapter on being the Khalifa of Allah, you have 3 things only to do in life. Always strive to make yourself good, always help others to be good, and make this world good. That's it. Every day you imbue in your mind, what can I do? One simple thing that I strive to make myself good. So maybe if that day I have nothing much to do, I read a book. Or if that day I don't have anything to do, I write a passage, or search, do some research, or maybe go and meet my grandchildren, give them a hug, a kiss, bring them to the park. So many things that you can do, from the most subtle, heavy duty type of thing to the simplest joy of life. Each and every day you strive. Remember the 3 principles of being the Khalifa of Allah. Always strive to make yourself good every day, little by little, little by little. always, every day, do something. Help others to be good. And every day, always try to make this world good and pleasing to Allah and pleasing to all humanity. So that is the beauty of Islam, a religion of mercy and love, which we have to manifest, so that people will look at Islam as a religion, as a deen of love, a deen of mercy, a deen of compassion, a deen which all human beings will yearn to become a Muslim in the future. All right? The next step we can take is how we're going to do creative visualization technique. Today I'm not going to give you this idea because I just give you overall. You can find, you go and research Google. There are many creative visualization techniques. It will take some time for me to actually express it. And also this idea of fake it until you made it. I do not like to use the word fake it, but actually Imam Ghazali says if you want to imbue yourself with positive values, try to take the examples from other people and apply on your life. That means if you are not a scholar, then you want to become a scholar, then what you do? You got to go and study 1 book, 2 book, 3 book, then finally you become a scholar. So what Imam Ghazali is saying is that you must try to imbue that feelings that you are a scholar, because you are a scholar right now. You feel that inshallah you can be a scholar, you have the potential to be a scholar. So what you do? You imbue the right values. The same thing of love, of mercy, of care. Even though you don't have that qualities, Imam Ghazali use a much more subtle approach of imbuing ourselves with those positive qualities first, even though you do not have it right now. Day by day, by day by day, you will do it. But in the Western terminology, they would like to use the word fake it until you made it. All right? Which is okay. But what is important is that in this process, we will then be able to generate a wonderful way of life, inshallah. Always remember, be the Caliph of Allah on this earth. Always strive to make yourself good, help others to be good, make the world good. And all of us, young generation, the transforming generation, be the transforming generation, be an achiever to make this world a peaceful, happy and successful world for all. Thank you.